got the wrong screen. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a great morning. It is early as hell right now. I am in San Antonio, so it is 5:15 in the morning. And I decided to go on and get this the morning track show on the way. The Yankees got a big night ahead of them. They go up against the Philadelphia Phillies after losing a embarrassing loss to the Toronto Blue Jays. Just the series in total has the whole Toronto series was a big wash. Um, Toronto won yesterday, so that puts the Yankees now 4.5 games behind first place. Technically, 5.5 because if the Yankees and the Blue Jays were to end the season in a tie, the Blue Jays take the division because they won the series. They won more games than the Yankees did versus each other. But anyway, let's look at the box score for the Blue Jays real quick. Sorry about it's a little early for me. I'm still trying to wake up. So they beat the Detroit Tigers, who were pretty good this year. Jahmai Jones hit a home run for the Tigers. Who would have thought? 11-4. Man, we can't catch a break. The Blue Jays don't want to lose, guys. I don't think they plan on losing anytime soon. So Yankees better start winning. Andrew says it's 3 a.m. where I live and you're live. Yeah, man. You got to do what you got to do. I got to go to work here in a few, but I just wanted to talk about just some things, man. The Yankees going up against the Phillies. Obviously, we saw what happened in Toronto. A lot of trade rumors circulating through the air, man. This is the time of the year where you start hearing all kinds of trade rumors. It was reported that the Yankees are showing interest in O'Neal Cruz from the Pirates. And I thought about it. I was like, I get it, the guy, his metrics are great. He hits the ball freaking probably the only person who can hit the ball harder than Giancarlo Stanton. But it's like, where would you play him? Like, where's the fit? I don't see the fit in that. I do see the Yankees and the Pirates partnering and making a trade. I can see that happening because they have a lot of pieces that we want and we have a lot of pieces that they want. I could see something happening, maybe like a David Bednar. I wouldn't be mad if David Bednar, Mitch Keller, and give me Brian Hayes. At least we'll have a third baseman. Yeah, he's not the greatest offensively, but there is upside offensively, I think, with him. But at least you get A1 defense at third base. So I wouldn't be mad at a trade like that, right? I could see Jason Dominguez being moved. A lot of people were upset with me because I've been saying that for about the past. I've been saying it for a while now. His defense is sketchy. And I know I take a lot of heat for it too because I understand because I really like the guy. The guy's, I think he's going to be a star in this league. His bat looks great, especially from the left side. But right now, we just can't afford to keep playing him out there at left field. His defense is just too sketchy. So if I'm Cashman, he's on the trading block because he has a ton of value. He's only 22 years old? There's value there. And we got a guy named Spencer Jones in the minor leagues right now, just banging down the doors. He is ready. And we got to find a way to get him up here. It's either that or they're going to have to move Grisham. But if we're trying to win it this year, in my personal opinion, I think there's more value in Trent Grisham playing every day over Dominguez this year, right? I understand he's on a walk year. He'll be a free agent. He's not the future. But the way Dominguez has been playing in the outfield makes me question if he's the part of our future too. David Elias says, "Good morning, sir. The Yankees always go through a lull since Boone has taken charge as manager. June and July is a normal downside of the season, but it's all about October." I hear what you're saying, man, but we got to make it to October. And this is 2 months of bad baseball. It wasn't even this bad last year. The last time I've seen it get this bad was in 2023, and we did not make it that year, right? So This is not your normal June Boone swoon or whatever people call it. This is this is 2 months of bad baseball. This team is not fundamentally good at all. And the way they've played, especially the last few weeks, I'd argue that they're even worse than they were last year. And we all know how that turned out. But this year we don't have I would say last year the Yankees had an easier path to the World Series. This year, well, I still think the American League is wide open. In my opinion, it's wide open. But there's better teams this year. I think that if I had to like rank the Yankees in most likely to make the World Series for the American League, I'd rank them maybe fourth at this point, fourth or fifth. You know, and if they keep playing the way they're playing, they might not even be in the postseason at all. Because I'm looking at the standings right now, and right now we have we're up 2 games on the wild card. Let me pull up the wild card. Okay, if the season ended today, the teams that'll be getting a bye in the American League will be the Toronto Blue Jays. They have the best record in baseball right now. I'll switch it over here. The Toronto Blue Jays, the Houston Astros, and the Detroit Tigers. The Yankees will be in the wild card, obviously, but you got Boston right there. We're only 2 games up. We're only 2 games up. 1 game up in the win column and 3 in the loss column. And we're going up against the Phillies tonight. Look, the Phillies are a really good team. They haven't been playing good as of late. Excuse me. The last let's pull it up right here. The last 10 games, they're right now currently a half a game behind the Mets for first place. Their last 10 games, they're 5-5. And their away record is 25-25. So it's a good thing that we're playing in the Bronx because they're exactly 500 away from Philadelphia. So hopefully the Yankees can could get back on track, come back to the Bronx. Maybe the fans will get them riled up. Maybe they could turn it back on, turn the bats back on. But we're going up against this guy, Taijuan Walker. The numbers aren't the greatest, but going up against Will Warren, who knows what we're gonna get from Will Warren? I'm not sure. Sometimes he goes out there and he's gonna give you 11 strikeouts, 5-6 innings, and other times he struggles to get out the first inning, and you're lucky if you get 4 out of him. So it's gonna be interesting. I want to, I like Will Warren a lot. My dog is barking at me. What's wrong? Oh my goodness. I like Will Warren a lot, but I think that he's a guy that has a ton of trade value too. And if teams are asking for him, I'm not saying trade him, but I would see what's available. Like what can you get for him? Because we got Cam Schlittler right now. He seems like I get it. He don't have the stuff that Will Warren has. What's wrong, Roxy? He doesn't have the stuff that Will Warren has, but hold on, let me get my. He doesn't have the stuff Will Warren has, but it seems like he has more. How do I put this? He just seems more like a gamer. He's out there. He throws a lot harder than Will Warren does, but he just seems like he's up for the challenge. And maybe that could all change. He's only had 2 starts up in the major leagues. Maybe it could change, right? Maybe the league figures him out and they start hitting him hard. But so far, I like what I've seen, and I feel like the upside there is substantial. What's up, Roy? Good morning. I won't hold you guys too long because I got to get ready and get out of here to go to work. Elias says 2025 for me is the last chance of Boone and Cashman. 2023 was a disaster. And 2024 was where the Yankees should always finish, win or lose. I cannot forgive Boone for not winning. You know, you mentioned 2023 was a disaster, but I'd argue that 2022 was just as bad, getting swept in the ALCS by the Astros. You know, with this team, it feels like if you think back, right? Look, Boone has been the manager for the Yankees. What is this? This is his eighth season, I believe, seventh or eighth, whatever. And I could at least five of those seasons we got completely embarrassed. The first few seasons, it was like, okay, you know, this guy, he doesn't have any manager experience. Uh, we'll give it, you know, I'll let it slide. But we're eight seasons in now, and at least half of them, maybe five or at least four seasons, we were completely embarrassed, outclassed, and just lost in a shameful fashion. And that's just unacceptable. What we saw the day before yesterday in Toronto, that's unacceptable. And this is not that wasn't a one-off thing. That's the problem. It's something that's been going on constantly, year after year. No matter what players we bring in, we still have the same outcomes, it seems like. And that tells me that is deeper than just a player thing. And I get it, right? At some point the players gotta play though too. But when you look at a lot of the issues the teams have, oh my God, excuse me. A lot of the issues are with the young guys who were brought up through the Yankee system. And now they're here in the big leagues. And while they do have a lot of talent, don't get me wrong, guys like Jason Dominguez, Ben Rice, Austin Wells, even Volpe, these guys have a tremendous amount of talent. If not, they wouldn't be here. But they're not living up to the potential and the baseball IQs, the fundamentals, the little things that can really separate, you know, just a regular player from a really good player. They lack this stuff. And this is stuff that should have been taught, you know, through the minors. This is where you learn this stuff. It's where you're supposed to go through the growing pains. Like all the things, like at the big league level, I get it. You're gonna go through growing pains and things are gonna happen. But when you're making simple mistakes, like not sure where to be on the field, you know, during a play or whatever it is, that's deeper than just a physical mistake, like you dropped the ball or something. So the Yankees have, look, the organization as a whole, they have a lot of like concerning issues. And you know, maybe they need to change a culture. I'm not sure what it is, but it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Randy Miller, good morning. Richard Miller, sorry. Roy says he's headed to New York, won't be here for a few days. That's cool, man. Dave Elliott, Yankees are the weakest in fundamental baseball. Torre and Girardi enforce discipline on the field. They were told by the best in the minors, it's the big show where every player forgets where they came from. I don't think so. I think this, maybe before, I think this team, like these players, I think a lot of it stems from just the system, the way they're being brought up, what they're emphasizing. They're emphasizing the wrong things. You know, they're emphasizing um exit velo and whatever stats that they want to see or whatever it is. And they're not emphasizing just fundamental baseball, like baseball 101, things that you learn at a young age. Even at the youth level, not even at the professional level. Even when I watch a lot of, like my son plays on 13U, he'll be moving to 14U now. Even at that level, I see it like they're kind of teaching the wrong things. Everybody just wants to throw gas and hit nukes. That's all you hear the kids talking about. They don't go bunt. Even though you see a lot of bunts and stuff, but nobody want to bunt. But it's a part of the game, and it's a valuable tool. Old and retired. Good morning, old and retired. Unless Hal decides to pay attention to how his this team is performing and wants to answer why his $300 million looks this way, nothing will change. Yeah, but I think I could only imagine that he's kind of concerned too. Like, there's people, I'm sure maybe he's not there every day. Um, but he is too loud. The noise is too loud at this point. He knows what's going on, and I'm sure they're trying to find a plan of action. Hopefully, me personally, I'm on the side of I don't want to just give up the season and sell everything. I feel like it could still be salvaged. It's a long shot, but it's possible. I've seen stranger things. The Rays, O's, Indiana, Phillies, or Indians, you mean the Guardians, all have great minor league systems. Yeah, and I'm not saying that the Yankee system isn't is completely bad because they do good things. Um, we've developed a lot of good players. A lot of them are not in our organization no more. They went off and started balling somewhere else, or sometimes we traded the wrong guy. Um, but I think look, in particular, man, with these young guys that came in, a lot of it has to do with the roster construction. The way the this roster is constructed is just it's bad. You can't. There's no other way to put it. Before we were talking about like, oh, the Yankees have good problems, and I hear that argument. A problem is a problem, you know. Whether it's a good problem or a bad problem, it's still a problem. The whole thing with where do you play Ben Rice? You have this guy who his offensive metrics are just through the roof, and his bat is needed in the lineup, but you have nowhere to play him. So what do you do with him, right? And some will say that's a good problem. That's a good problem to have, but it's still a problem. Um, we have problems right now that we were hoping we weren't going to have, like this whole Anthony Volpe thing. That's something. Even though I was already, even before the season started, I was like, look, if I'm the Yankees, I'm looking for third base. I mean, for shortstop options. And people thought I was crazy, and I was like, because I like Volpe, but I feel like there's there's a lot to be desired there at shortstop. You see, like, but what saved him before was his glove. 'Cause he's like, well, he's a Gold Glove defender. And I'm like, yeah, but I'd like a little more offense. And now he's not doing neither. So we'll see how they navigate that situation. I know that George Lombard Jr. is down there in Double A, and I anticipate maybe we see him next year, or maybe we see him in 2027. But he's going to be knocking on that door soon. The same way Spencer Jones is kicking down the door right now. There's no way you can leave that guy down there in AAA. He is on fire, and I get it. Like some people have reported. I'm not gonna name the people, right? But they said, well, AAA, the pitching is horrible right now. They really have no good pitching in AAA. Whatever, it doesn't even matter at any level. When you're hitting the numbers that he's hitting right now, he had 3 home runs yesterday. Another 3 home runs. At that point, it's like you gotta find a way to get him up here. Wait, what more has he done? There's nothing else he can do down there. He's already shown everything. Now it's time to bring him up here and see what he can do here. Make that final adjustment up here. But the thing is that we have 4 outfielders and 3 first basemen. If you count Bellinger, where do you put this guy? And that's why somebody has to go, whether we like it or not. And if you're trying to win this year, I feel like Dominguez is in the outfield in particular, me personally, and I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I feel like Dominguez is the one that has to go because the defense is just bad, and we don't have time to let him develop right now. Or he gets sent back down. Either he gets traded or sent back down. But we don't have the luxury of we can't afford to just allow them to figure it out on the field, let them learn. That time has passed. We're 4.5 games down, and the season is coming to an end really fast. We got to get the Jones up here. You have to. Like I think if they don't get him up here, it's just malpractice. It's a shame. The dude, and look, I'm not even the biggest Spencer Jones fan. Like I'll be honest, I was never really that high on him, but you can't deny what he's doing right now. What he's doing right now, it's undeniable. If he was on any other team, he'd be in a big league uniform right now. The Yankees got to figure it out. Let me get to a few of these chats and then we'll close it up. I got to get to work. I hope there's no traffic out there. Andrew, what's up, man? I appreciate it. D-Train, what's up? Good morning. Actually, our minor league players play fundamentally. They don't look nowhere near as bad as the major league team. Guys, the problem is right in front of. No, but what I'm saying is the guys on this team that are having problems with the fundamentals are all the younger guys who came through our minor league system. That's what I'm saying. If you look at all of our other guys, when you look at Bellinger, Judge, Goldschmidt, Jazz Chisholm, even though he makes his mistakes every now and then. Who else? I'm drawing blanks. Those guys are fine. Like they're playing the right way for the most part. A lot of these like minute things that's coming from down there, from the guys who just they just made it up here pretty much. I would rather trade Wells over Rice. I hear you. Rice's bat is that good. But the problem is his his defense. His defense behind the plate. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not great. It's not. It's not better than Wells. Is it enough? My dog is driving me crazy. Is it enough that you can just take it, like, and be okay with it? I'm not sure. I don't think his defense back there is sketchy. There's a reason why they don't even have him as the backup catcher right now. I think that I would like Ben Rice to stay here, but he's definitely on the table too. But if you try to keep him, if you can, but it's you know we got a lot of holes to fill too, and if we want to fill them, we got to start. We got to give up some guys. Ross Dog's broken spirit. Good morning. Trade Dominguez, bring up Jones. Yeah, right. He can't. He can bring in a Hall. His ceiling is scary though. Who are we talking about there? David Elias. Of all the talent, Dominguez is the weak link of the outfield. And look, I really I love The Martian. Don't get it twisted. I really love The Martian, but we've gotten to a point where he's expendable. The defense, it's not there. And I hear people's argument. People say, well, he's playing out of position. You need to put him in center field. If you can't play left field, you're not going to play center field any better than that, It is what it is. Frustrating to know the Yanks could have had Matt Olson for Volpe. We could have had a Luis Castillo for Volpe. At one point, Peraza's trade value was through the roof too. Accountability is the first thing that needs to be fixed up and down the franchise. Yeah, that's another another thing that needs to be fixed. I mean, everybody's opinion on accountability is different. Like, I don't expect Boone or Judge or anybody to go to the media and like bash a player. If you're expecting that, I don't know what to tell you. But I do expect, if you play a good game, you should if you're playing well, you should play every day, Or if you make a mistake, because mistakes happen, but when you make certain mistakes that can't happen, you shouldn't play. I don't need him to like. I don't need to see Boone yelling at a player or anything like that. Nor do I want to see that. I don't want to see that. But there's times when you have a guy go up there and he's 4 for 5, and the next day he's on the bench. It's like, man. Or like for instance, when Vivas made that base running mistake with versus the Braves, you know, it's like you just gonna leave him out there and act like it never happened. Judge should be sporting at least 3 rings. Yeah, it'd be nice. But with all that being said, you know, it's good to have a day off. They're back in the Bronx. They went home, got to see their families, sleep on their own bed. Hopefully they come back and just put that Toronto series behind them. And now it's time to really dig in. We're heading down the stretch here. It's what, like 60 more games or something like that. It's getting tight. Now's not the time to play around, even with the lineups. No, and all this, giving players days off and stuff. Like, okay, I get it at times, but you got to earn that. And right now, you're 4.5 games back, so your best players need to be playing. You got to put your best defense out there, and the front office, they need to make whatever moves they can make. But now is not the time to punt anything, unless somebody's hurt or something. Your best players got to be out there, even if that means certain players who may have a decent bat or whatever. Like, well, you're just gonna come off the bench as a pinch hitter or whatever it is, and that's just like how it has to be right now. If the Yankees want to win, they got to change everything they were doing early in the season. It's not working. They need to change all of that and really dig in. And we can't have and I feel for Judge, but like on Wednesday night, that third game versus Toronto, I have no idea why he was playing DH. Unless he was hurt, because I know the game before it looked like he may have hurt his foot or something a little bit because he was wincing. But if he's not hurt, he needs to be on the field too. Because regardless of what people say, he is a great defender out there. He's our best option out there. Bellinger, and Grisham. That's the best defensive outfield we can have. Paul Goldschmidt, I get it. He doesn't hit right-handed pitches well, but we need that glove in there. He's got to play first base. And then you figure everything else out. But anyway, folks, I hope you have a great day. Enjoy your day. Graham, what's up, Graham? Sorry I didn't get to your chats, man. I'll read this last one from him. Then I got to go. I don't want to be late. Just a thought. But something might not be right for Volpe on the field. We all know his old man is going through a tough patch. Some can throw that off. Maybe many cannot. And, and maybe that's the case. Maybe I get it. These guys have lives. They got personal things, but you got to be professional. Look, I gotta go to work right now. Look what I'm doing here. I got a lot of things going on. When I go to work, I'm at work. I gotta do my job, And it's okay. I get it. So people have bad days and stuff, but we talking about, what about last year? The offense was never there, but at least the defense was there before with him. But now you're not getting defense either. And that's all I'm saying. Look, I get it. We're all human, right? Everybody's gonna make mistakes. Everybody struggles at points. But at a certain point, it's like, okay, what are we doing to get better? Or are we just gonna ignore the fact and act like it's not a problem? That's the thing that gets me upset with the Yankees. But now it's in their face. They cannot deny it no more. But they'll act like nothing was going on. Like, oh, we're fine. Everything's good. That's gonna do it for me, guys. Have a great day. Ross dog's broken. Blow off work. Let's talk Yankees. No, I have to go today, but I'll be in tonight. I don't know if it's your first time tuning in, but I appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe. Like the video if you can. Yeah, tune into the night show. We have a lot of fun here. It gets a little crazy, but we have some fun. Yeah, Peraza was once a huge prospect. Not anymore. That's gonna do it for me, guys. Have a blessed day. Let's go Yankees, baby. Let's start winning. Let's get back to winning. Peace, everyone.